Namaste and Jai Bharat. We know that Iran had been having armies, proxy armies. The Hezbollah, to some extent the Hamas, the Houthis to some extent, and some other kinds of Hezbollahs. The Iran is still having such proxy armies. It's an interesting phenomenon that, see, you have money, and there are this mercenaries kind of army for rent available. You pay them, they do the work. Why do you want to let your own soldiers go to the battlefield and die? So they have this option these days. This is something new. Normally, when a soldier fights, he fights for his integrity, pride, and for his nation, not because he's hired. Then many other soldierly qualities go missing in such cases. But then for money. Here, of course, they must have put in Iran. Of course, he's a champion in marketing Islam. Iran is a champion in marketing Islam. So that must have gone into the minds of this Hezbollah kind of people. So they have this proxy army they use. Now, is it the case that Pakistan is also becoming something akin to a proxy army? At the answer, someone else. I'm not speculating. You can. Because if I speculate, I have to speak, so I won't. So, is it the case that Pakistan is also acting like a proxy army at the hands of others? Otherwise, why at all they should attack someone like Afghanistan? Afghanistan people are not unfamiliar with the Pakistani people. They know each other's character. Of course, they should know the Pathan's character. Pathan fights, he doesn't bother about the next moment. It's difficult to fight with such forces. It's difficult to fight. So why or are they trying to imitate the Bharat's surgical strike which they did on terrorist camps in Balakot? And after the Balakot strike, the Pakistani media, what funny people, was telling, in Balakot, the Bharat had carried out airstrikes and 2 crores died. Do kawe mar gaye. This is what they say. That itself was funny. So they, I think, wanted to prove themselves that they are also capable of airstrike, that surgical strike, the new word, new coin, surgical strike. That is strikes with surgical precision. But certainly it was not a surgical precision strike, because in spite of, this Taliban have no air defense system. Absolutely have no air defense system. And the Pakistan knows very well that they don't have air defense. So they should have at least carried out some precision bombing, which they failed to do. They were supposed to attack the Tehrik-e-Taliban Pakistani outgroups area, but they missed the target, it appears. They missed the targets and they bombed on innocent villages. I don't think that the Tehrik-e-Taliban Pakistan, TTP, are behaving like Hamas, that they hide in civilian quarters underground and make the civilian shield. I don't think they don't have such need there. I don't think they were doing it. So naturally they missed the targets. Instead of directing their weapons on the TTP outfits, they fired here and there and ran away. I heard that the 71 war between Bharat and Pakistan. I heard that the Pakistani bombers came. They somehow wanted to cross the line of control, our border, and reach the wheat fields of Punjab and dump all the bombs in the wheat fields of Punjab and ran away, reporting back that they have bombed. Otherwise, if they ever come into the range of Akka guns, they're gone. They know it. So they even did not venture into the targets. En route, they dumped all their bombs in the wheat fields of Punjab and went back. This is another story I had. I don't know, because I joined the Air Force after that, after the battle, after the war. Of course, with all the fresh memories of 71 war. So this is the story I heard those days. The veterans were talking to us. Now, they went and attacked, and they invited the Taliban. Taliban don't have an air force. Out of question of them having a navy because they don't have sea adjoining to their nation. So it seems now the Pakistan army is taking heavy punishment. Some videos I have seen. No one else except the Afghan soldiers. Now they holding their rifles and doing the usual circular dance, and not a single Pakistani soldier in sight. And this, of course, I've seen the video from our Pathan Bhai. Pathan Bhai, I think, sits in UK and makes such videos. At some point, he was so fed up. He said, "I am not going to make any more videos." Pathan Bhai speaks good Hindi. Good Hindi he speaks. So he makes his videos in Hindi. They call it as Urdu. I call it as Hindi. Though Urdu is not Hindi. Urdu is Hindi language with all Persian words put into it. Difficult for us to understand. It's slightly difficult for us to understand. And I think equally the Pakistanis also wouldn't understand the kind of Hindi that I speak. It will be difficult for them to understand because I must be using most of Sanskrit words like we normally do in Bharat. We also use sometimes inadvertently this Urdu, Persian words that crept into this Mughal. They did it then. So they have been now. This is going to create a lot of problem for Pakistan in all. See, first of all, they are not a stable nation. They have economic problems, all kinds of problems they have. And Imran Khan, who is a well-reputed person, with whatever accusations they level against him, I don't know, but then he has his popularity. Is imprisoned. Now, this is another nasty thing the Pakistani government do. All the same, they put the other person in jail. They jailed so many people. Even Zulfikar Ali Bhutto was imprisoned and executed. And the Zulfikar Ali Bhutto's father, the father Bhutto was Nawab of Junagadh. Well, that's a different interesting story. Junagadh, they wanted to join Pakistan at that time. Geographically, it is rather impossible for Junagadh. Junagadh is in is Gujarat, western part of Gujarat. The Somnath is there. Girnar is there. And these are very dear to us. Somnath is very dear to us. Dwarka is there. So Junagadh Nawab, of course, he becomes a Nawab out of he was a Tamil leader who was at the service of the Mughals and subsequently got Junagadh, and he becomes Nawab with so many. That time Nawab was with so many dogs. At some places, dog is haram to them, as I understand. Anyway, so Pakistan has internal problems. They have no food to eat. They have a lot of other things. There's dearth of everything in Pakistan. Dearth of everything. The other day I saw a video of a Pathan walking from Pakistan occupied Kashmir to our Jammu and Kashmir just to buy cashew nuts. He says it's very expensive there. I don't know how he comes and how he buys and how he goes back and why he is permitted. Now, Pathan doesn't mean that it's coming from Pakistan will permit him. We love Pathans, that's a different case. We had been loving Pathans, and there were a lot of stories of Kabuliwala. All of us in childhood studied the story of Kabuliwala. So, anyway, Pakistan is now in for trouble, and the Afghanistan are not going to leave them. I don't know how they will face. The problem in Pakistan is fundamentally at this kind of situations, the army takes decisions. The civil government is, I don't know, elected of course, even though the elections are controlled by the army would get their people elected whom they want. And the army is not trained in politics. Army is trained in battle. We are not taught the kinds of political governance and diplomacy. All those things are not taught to the army. They don't know. So that's why we say there are good people in the army. We are not underestimating. I myself as a soldier, I have great respect to the uniform which I used to wear once upon a time. And there are times that we don't think with heads, we think with muscles. Such people can't be diplomatically ruling a nation. So army take decisions, most times it is impulsive and very emotional. That's not going to be diplomatic decision. In diplomacy, we learn to fail. We learn to accept defeat. And we accept defeat knowingly many times. We accept defeats knowingly many times. No, let them think that they won. Because we'll have some other strategies and planning. Now, these things don't go with the army. But the army is making decisions for such things. Naturally, the army will get into foolish decisions. I don't know what's going to happen in Pakistan. Afghans are not going to spare them. And Pakistan can't even talk to Afghans. Or they say table talk not possible. Let's see what happens. But Pakistan is in for trouble, undoubtedly. So till we meet again, Namaste, Jai Bharat and Jai Shri Ram.